Excuse me?
Oh, I hope I'm on sorry.
I'm going to share with you, Ella. It is just starting.
Okay, that's perfect.
And then, could you also test it and tell me how the audio is?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm worried about.
Guys.
There's also.
If I sit with my family, if I'm going second. So I always think that I should just be on deck already.
Oh, you have a reserve seat in the front with your coin.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it says your name on the chair.
Okay, should I even sit down though if I'm going second? Or should I?
Yeah, because there's gonna be the national anthem and there's 2 pages worth of stuff before we actually start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so I should explain to my folks what's going on. Oh, it's Jeremy. It's that commissioning me. Or me, that's saluting me. I'm so excited. Where do I get the coin?
It's on the chair. Yeah.
Can we close these blinds? Are we allowed to do that? There's a lot of glare right now. You see that? It's hard. It's not visible at all.
Hey, Ella, do you have the script of how the ceremony is going to work?
Yeah, do you want me to send it to you?
Could you please
Yeah.
do that? Just so that way I'm keeping track of following the order with everything.
Shit.
Okay, let me know if you can open that.
Yep, got it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Where's the camera?
The camera on the
laptop. What we decided to do? I was going to say these iPads. All you need is a tripod and a charger. I can see that. I saw him though. Thank you for coming. Look at you! Looking sharp. Hi, Katie.
It's mostly just glare.
Windows.
Yeah, and I don't have the proper equipment to get all the way up there and close them. So.
This can we talk to you about that. Do you have a phone?
Yeah.
You can stream it on your phone.
I'm leaving early.
I stream on my phone.
You can stream it on your
It's
phone?
like 60%. But
Do you have a YouTube channel that has streaming permissions?
I have no idea.
Probably not.
Probably not. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, though. It took me a minute to even get permission to stream on a computer, but you need to have a certain amount of followers to live stream on a mobile device.
How many subscribers?
Like 60.
Wow.
And you have to ask permission 24 hours in advance. It's ridiculous.
I was
Yeah, don't you do all kinds of social media stuff?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I could just move this up further. Maybe it wouldn't get the glare, but I don't want it to be in the way.
The audio is alright.
Okay. I mean, nobody's watching this anyway. There's
I don't know if it's there's a filter you could put on.
Yeah, now you're just blocking half the screen.
Yeah. It's nothing we can do.
To be fair, everyone who wants to watch this is here in person, so I don't think it matters as much as the job drops did.
Yeah, I should be alright.
Okay, well, here, I'll trade you.
Okay, I'm gonna very careful.
Words of encouragement. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah, I didn't know you were commissioning somebody afterwards. So
that's okay. It's not till 7. So,
okay,
like, there's
yeah,
some time.
our interview is like a half hour, which is extremely unfortunate. But I want to bring it
No, I appreciate it.
for you. And
Thank you. Yeah. How's it
very
going?
exciting. It's been great. Very, very exciting. Kind of surreal, honestly. I didn't think this was happening for a very, very long time.
Yeah, really?
Bright-eyed little freshman in your class.
Yeah, when I came in, I'm like, dude, I just hope I make it through basic training. I just hope I make it through freshman year.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you're like, shit, one day at a time, you know?
I don't know how this whole thing goes without real practice. But
Okay.
I'm a little shaky on things.
Pick it up.
Have you done a couple so far?
Yeah, I did a couple of 2 years ago. I did Trevor Anderson.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
With you.
Yeah.
I've been on leave the last year and 2 years ago, so this is actually my second graduation. I've done promotions. Sure. So,
Planning to retire?
you guys have seats or
Yeah, I think we have.
you?
Yeah, we got it.
This is what I don't know if I'd give it to what do
Egypt. Yeah, so I got Egypt, and then I'm going to be casual here for a year.
I sit in the front. A lot. It's gonna be like a
you gotta be casual. I'll go up real quick and then I'll be back. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go find my seat.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
We'll talk soon. So, yes,
You look so beautiful. I'm so proud of you. How was it? Was it good? Who's did your oath? Chad. And who was your first salute? My auntie. Yeah. That's so sweet, though. Are you here to watch Luke now? Good. I don't know where he's at, but
Just hanging out. Just enjoy it.
Yep. I'm gonna go secure some seats over here too.
I didn't want to be like this is actually blue topaz. Yeah, everyone gets it. I just want to do it. Looks those are another smaller. You still like
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in roughly 3 minutes. So please At the conclusion of the ceremony, we're selling merch over there by the industry circuit, so if you have some time, go out and there's also merch for the next 3 years in CS-22.
Since I'm saluting Jeff, I think I'm just gonna stay back here.
Squadron is it? 22. Have any idea what 29 is?
No, I don't know 29. You know 29?
No clue?
That's supposed to be an A-hall somewhere.
What's that? Yeah.
Might be Polaris.
Flash is 2.
Yeah. They said A.
This at 4:30.
Yeah. All right. I'll find it. Thanks.
Let's start to go inside. Anything look good?
You look great.
Probably get mine today.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. For those attending in person, please silence all cell phones and electronic devices at this time. And if you're wearing them, please remove your proxy notice. The ceremony will begin momentarily. Good afternoon, all. Today we gathered to celebrate a momentous occasion with the 23 members of Cadet Squadron 22, class of 2025. As they graduated from the United States Air Force Academy. In a few short moments, the graduating cadets will one by one raise their right hands and swear or affirm the oath of commissioned officers. This oath has its roots in the oath of the Continental Army as far back as 1775. The oath is not to any individual or organization, but rather to the democratic processes and civil liberties that are founders to make great in the Constitution. The oath of commissioning signifies an unwavering commitment to ideals greater than any of us: democracy, liberty, security, and the pursuit of a more perfect union. The class of 2025 first took this oath on day one of basic training. Over the last 4 years, they have come to understand the gravity of the responsibilities of a commissioned officer and are prepared to begin their service to the nation as second lieutenants. Please stand for the national anthems and the invocation. Following the United States national anthem, please remain standing for the playing of the Peruvian national anthem in honor of our distinguished guests, Major General Oscar Guillermo Delgado Gonzalez, and our very own CS-22 25 graduate, Italo Zumeta Gonzalez.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
I invite you to pray with me. Oh God, today we celebrate the extraordinary work, leadership, and character of Cadet Squadron 22's newest second lieutenants. These soon-to-be Air Force officers possess the capability and the DNA to lift up those who are hungry for direction and focus. It was President Franklin Roosevelt who said, "Our security is not a matter of weapons alone. The arm that wields them must be strong, the eye that guides them clear, the will that directs them indomitable." Today, I ask that you bless these commissioning officers today with wisdom, protection, and courage for the extraordinary tasks ahead. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Thank you to Cadet Third Class Sabrina McGarvey and Chaplain Bradner. Please be seated. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this commissioning ceremony for the class of 2025 for Cadet Squadron 22. At this time, I would like to introduce our distinguished guests. Please hold your applause until all the introductions have been made. Major General Oscar Guillermo Delgado Gonzalez, Air Attaché for the Peruvian Air Force. Our guest speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Eric A. Scott. The host for today's ceremony, CS-22 Commander, Major Jessica B. Rawl. CS-22's Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Yvette D. Compton, and Technical Sergeant Drew T. Stockwell. Thank you to all of our distinguished guests. We would also like to take a moment to recognize the families, friends, and classmates of all our commissioned cadets who are joining us in person and virtually. We offer our most sincere thanks for the love and support you have provided our graduates and will continue to provide in their career as officers. Please join me in a round of applause for those people. I would now like to introduce our guest speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Eric A. Scott.
All right, well, I appreciate it, graduates, for you guys asking me to come back. I figured 2 years of listening to me off and on would be plenty enough. You guys would be ready to move on, but I guess nostalgia took hold. All right, well, I appreciate the invite and the opportunity to say a few words to you guys on this important day. So I spent the last few days thinking about what I could impart to you guys, what I could offer, what perspective that isn't something that you've heard me say over the 2 years you guys spent with me, or something that this institution's pounded into you for 4 years. So last year, I ran that for you guys. Last year, I talked about some of the attributes going into a challenging security environment. This year, I'm going to focus more on some of the rubber meets the road tactical aspect of being an officer. What does it mean to be an officer in today's Air Force? From almost 17 years now of hard experience for myself and from my peers, my mentors along the way. So I'll start with a little bit of probably boring, but I feel necessary historical context. So obviously, since people organize to fight each other, there's always been some need to organize troops and point sticks in the right direction. If you look back to the ancient Hebrews, the ancient Babylonians, the ancient Greeks, etc., those came from the community. A lot of established community leaders, and then eventually what were nobility from those societies that didn't tend necessarily to have the most qualified or competent people in charge. The first, interesting, if you're a history nerd, the first attempt to professionalize an officer corps was actually in the Han Dynasty in China, and in the Warring States period in about 300 BC. Didn't last very long, and obviously we come from the Western tradition, so it doesn't have a whole lot of how we got to where we are today. As you go through the Middle Ages, the early Renaissance, it was mostly landed nobles, people that could provide the levies, could equip troops. And as you move into even early American time frame, it was either people with British military background or those who could convince enough of their friends to follow them. So literally the way they did commissions around the revolutionary time frame was if you show up with 50 folks, then hey, you're a captain that gets to lead this regiment. So again, not necessarily what we're looking for in modern day for a professional military officer. The U.S. has a long history of keeping a tiny military up until post-World War II. In fact, we plus up for the American Civil War, we plus up for World War I, but we very quickly fade away. We had the 18th largest military in 1935. Belgium had more men in uniform permanently than we did during that time frame leading up to World War II. World War II happens, more interconnected world. We finally wake up to the fact that there's more beyond the ocean, sun, I'd say, right? And recently, interconnected world, and that what we were doing just wouldn't cut it. So our modern system was born out of World War II as we go from there. And we refined that system over the past 8 years or so as we become more inclusive on broadening who we recruit and then the different perspectives that we bring to officer corps. So a lot of great improvements there. Modern day system. So for the Air Force, actually only about 17 to 20% come from the academy in the modern active duty Air Force. So you represent a fairly small group, only about 20% of our active force at any given time. About 40% from ROTC, 20 from OTS, and then 20% as direct appointments as our leaders, etc. But we do live in a wonderfully unique time here where we do focus on a professional military corps. So what does that actually mean? What does it mean in modern day to be an officer? What sets you apart from someone who enlists, someone that raises their hand out of high school, or even there are 23, 24-year-olds out there enlisting, right? People your age that are enlisting. What makes you different as an officer? Is it the degree? Is it the fact that you sat through 4 years of painful classes to earn a bachelor's degree? No, certainly not, right? We have an extremely educated, extremely intelligent, extremely experienced enlisted corps out there, especially in the Air Force and Space Force these days. This is your formal leadership training, every lead class or CE class that you've sat through. Those are tools to help you along the way, but most of our enlisted corps by the time they've made master sergeant have sat through many of the same classes. They've learned many of the same lessons you have by that point, right? So what does it mean to be an officer in the modern American Air Force? I think it means stepping into that role, that responsibility, to say that you are willing to take on that role, that burden, as well as that joy that comes from having that responsibility. The responsibility is legal. There are legal responsibilities you hold as an officer that an enlisted person never will, no matter how high they make it in rank. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about more the moral responsibility that you're agreeing to take on as an officer, as a leader. So we talked about history, a little bit of philosophy there. I promised you real world advice. I'm getting there. So here's what I would offer again from my experience, my peers, my mentors along the way. The first thing I would offer is to lead. Yes, that sounds trite, but what I mean by that is that the Air Force, when you get out into the Air Force, many of the jobs that you'll be given, you can get away with just managing, not leading. You can, everybody, I see lots of head nods from some of the experienced folks in the room. Your day-to-day duties, a lot of times, you can get away with just checking the boxes, making sure that stuff in the warehouse gets moved, that you go fly your sortie, that you make sure that the finance office is open at the right time. If you just check those day-to-day management responsibilities, that's all a lot of your leadership will hold you responsible to. And that's sad. You guys need to have the integrity to lead, to develop your people, to step into those leadership roles for the organization and people. So you have to actually take the responsibility yourselves as officers to get up there and lead. Next, I'd say that you need to listen. So that's taking advice from trusted advisors, experts, any other relevant sources of information, and then make a decision to move out, right? So there's always that fine line of you can't make a snap decision, but you also can't be in decision paralysis. What I've seen over my career is that there's way too many people in the decision paralysis side. So I challenge you guys to listen to your people, listen to the experts, bring in information, but then make a decision and move out. And then adjust fires if you need to. Right. Next, I'd say to support the bigger picture. Some of the most frustrating officers I've worked with are the ones that silo their particular piece of the puzzle. Always remember that whatever you do, it doesn't matter how high you go. If you become Chief of Staff of the Air Force, you're still part of a bigger picture. The Air Force exists within the context of the DoD. The DoD exists within the context of elements of national power of our country, right? So whatever you do, you are a piece of the puzzle. You should be an advocate. You should be an expert in that piece. However, when it comes time to allocate resources, when it comes time to fight for your piece of the pie, remember you are only part of the puzzle, right? Do not silo and hurt the bigger picture because you're too busy fighting over your tiny little piece of the puzzle. Next, listen and improve. So we call it the profession of arms for a reason. We are professionals. You are professional officers after today in just a few minutes when you take this up. For the rest of your career, being a professional means continuing education. Yes, the Air Force has formalized ways that we go about that. But just like doctors, lawyers, accountants, etc., anyone that is a professional is expected to keep learning. You are expected to keep learning throughout your career, keep advancing. So that's formally, informally from those around you, from history, and the most painful teacher of all personal experience, right? Next, I'd say that you absolutely, positively have to support the growth of those placed in your trust. You need to enable, engage, and empower those that work for you and with you, right? We're not looking to micromanage. And again, in the short term, unfortunately, in our system, sometimes the micromanagement is what's going to make you look best in the moment. But you're hurting yourself in your development, you're hurting those that work for you, and you're hurting the Air Force, because we need people to grow, we need people to develop, right? If every time when you guys watch in my office, I was like, hey, I'm going to charge, I can fix that problem for you, then you would not have developed, you would not have grown, you wouldn't have figured out how to work your way through problems as we went, right? So absolutely have to empower those that work for you. And then most importantly, because this is the underpinning for everything else that I've talked about, embrace that servant leadership. I know each and every one of you. We spent 2 years together. I know that you have empathy. I know that you have the heart of servant leaders. Embrace that servant leadership, because that will underpin and that will give you the ability to do all these other things that I've talked about, to have that clear vision, to be able to lead your people and to accomplish the mission. If you support your people with that servant leadership and empower them, you never have to worry about the mission. All right, so your time here at USAFA, sat through a lot of lectures, got a lot of head knowledge from your time here, and some experiences as you went through. many more experiences to come. And like I said, I know that each and every one of you have the empathy and the heart knowledge to approach this task with the gravitas that it requires to do well. So my challenge to you is to take that combination of head and heart knowledge, use it to live out those principles in action by being bold while remaining humble, decisive while remaining considerate, and to be the best damn officers this world has ever seen. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Scott, for that brief history lesson and those wise words. We will now begin the ceremonial commissioning of the United States Air Force Academy's Cadet Squadron 22, Class of 2025. Although normal protocol requires everyone to stand during the oath of office, due to the sheer amount of commissioning lieutenants here, only the official party will remain at the position of attention, and all other individuals, please feel free to remain seated. Each cadet will be given a Class of 1975 gift by Legacy Class member Lieutenant Colonel retired Larry Bryan and Captain retired John Henry. Our first commissioned lieutenant is Alexander M. Nick. Cadet Nick has asked Lieutenant Colonel Nathan Collins to administer the oath of office.
That I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office.
Now, well, faithfully discharge the duties of the office.
Cadet Nick is being put down this afternoon by his mother, Leslie Nick, and father, Michael Nick. Cadet Nick has asked Technical Sergeant Drew Stockwell to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Nick. Lieutenant Nick will head to Air Force Institute of Technology to begin his first assignment as an astronautical engineering officer. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Graham H. Green. Cadet Green has asked Lieutenant Colonel retired Doug Pratt to administer the oath of office.
I, Graham Green. I, Graham Green. We've been appointed as second lieutenant. Having been appointed as second lieutenant of the United States Air Force. Solemnly swear. Solemnly swear. I will support the Constitution of the United States. Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. Foreign and domestic. I will bear. True faith. And allegiance. To the same. I will take this obligation freely. I will take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Without any mental reservation. For purpose of remaining. And I will well. And I will well. Unfaithfully. charged to discharge the duties of the office of Regional
Pinning on Cadet Green this afternoon is his mother and father, Bonnie and Lex. Cadet Green has asked Cadet Third Class Jeremy Dunkerman the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Green. Lieutenant Green will head to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill School of Medicine to begin medical school. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Bryn M. Crownover. Cadet Crownover has asked her father, Colonel Retired Brian Crownover, to administer the oath of office.
I state your name. Having been appointed as second lieutenant in the United States Air Force, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Cadet Crownover is being pinned on this afternoon by her mother, Katie Crownover, and her grandfather, Keith Crownover. Cadet Crownover has asked Technical Sergeant Drew Stockwell to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Crownover. So we'll pause the pictures. You guys want to go? Okay. Lieutenant Crownover will head to Vandenberg Space Force Base to begin her first assignment as a missile operations officer. Our next mission lieutenant is Igalo M. Zumeta Gonzalez. Cadet Zumeta has asked Major Jorge Ames of the Peruvian Air Force to administer the oath of office.
I siempre como no, grabo después de que repasemos su tómbola. Sí, juro. Dais a Dios en la patria, no apagar el enemigo de espada, brazos que marchan en el honor de la Fuerza Aérea del Perú. Sí, juro. Dais a Dios en la patria, servir fielmente los mandamientos que mande la nación de la Fuerza Aérea del Perú, siguiendo el ejemplo del capitán FAB José Abelardo Quiñones González, gran general del aire del Perú, y llegar hasta el sacrificio si fuese necesario. Sí, juro. Felicitaciones.
Cadet Zumeta is being pinned on this afternoon by his mother, Patricia Gonzalez, and father, Jose Zumeta. Cadet Zumeta has asked Technical Sergeant Drew Stockwell to run the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Zumeta. Lieutenant Zumeta will have the peaceful Peruvian Air Force Base to begin his first assignment as a pilot. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Eleanor S. Catman. Cadet Catman has asked Second Lieutenant Macy Hoppus to administer the oath of office. Cadet Catman is being pinned on this afternoon by her mother, Angela, and her father, Damon. Cadet Catman has asked Technical Sergeant Drew Stockwell to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Catman. Lieutenant Catman will head to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base to begin her first assignment as a Weather and Environmental Sciences Officer. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Jacob M. Guilfoyle. Cadet Guilfoyle has asked Major Jessica Rawl to administer the oath of office. Cadet Guilfoyle is being pinned on this afternoon by his mother, Laura, and father, Jeffrey. Cadet Guilfoyle has asked Technical Sergeant Drew Stockwell to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Guilfoyle. Lieutenant Guilfoyle will head to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base to begin his first assignment as a mechanical engineering officer. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Anastasia A. Barnett. Cadet Barnett has asked Major Jessica Rawl to administer the oath of office. Cadet Barnett is being pinned on this afternoon by her mother, Natalia Barnett, and her father, Kevin Barnett. asked Technical Sergeant Drew Stockwell to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Barnett. Lieutenant Barnett will head to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base to begin the first assignment as an astronautical engineering officer. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Madeline A. Pfeiffer. Cadet Pfeiffer has asked Major Jessica Rawl to administer the oath of office. Cadet Pfeiffer is being pinned on this afternoon by her sister, Emma Pfeiffer, and her cousin, Riri Smith. Cadet Pfeiffer has asked Technical Sergeant Drew Stockwell to administer the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Pfeiffer. Lieutenant Pfeiffer will head to Peterson Space Force Base to begin her first assignment as a Space Force Officer Select. The next commissioned lieutenant is Canon J. Ray. Cadet Ray has asked Major Jessica Rawl to administer the oath of office. Cadet Ray is being pinned on this afternoon by his father Jonathan and his mother Julie. Cadet Ray has asked Technical Sergeant Drew Stockwell to render the first salute.
So you can record just the second part. What just one? That's
Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Ray. Lieutenant Ray will head to Columbus Air Force Base to begin his first assignment as a pilot. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Nathaniel C. Hoffman. Cadet Hoffman has asked Major Jessica Rawl to administer the oath of office. Cadet Hoffman is being pinned on this afternoon by his father, Charlie Hoffman, and mother, Amanda Hoffman. Cadet Hoffman has asked Technical Sergeant Drew Stockwell to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Hoffman. Lieutenant Hoffman will head to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base to begin his first assignment as an acquisitions officer. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Jensen R. Garcia. Cadet Garcia has asked Major Jessica Rawl to administer the oath of office. Cadet Garcia is being pinned on this afternoon by his father, Glenn, and his mother, Anna. Cadet Garcia has asked Technical Sergeant Drew Stockwell to run to the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Garcia. Lieutenant Garcia will head the Peterson Space Force Base to begin his first assignment as a Space Force Officer Select. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Grace M. Wilson. Cadet Wilson has asked Major Jessica Rawl to administer the oath of office. Cadet Wilson is being pinned on this afternoon by her mother and father, Eliza and John. Cadet Wilson has asked Master Sergeant Yvette Compton to run to the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Wilson. Lieutenant Wilson will head to Vance Air Force Base to begin her first assignment as a pilot. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Jeffrey D. Mills. Cadet Mills has asked Major Jessica Rawl to administer the oath of office. Cadet Mills is being pinned on this afternoon by his mother Melanie, father Doug, and sisters Marin, Charles, and May Mills. third class, Sam Akinrele to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Mills. Lieutenant Mills will have the Peterson Space Force Base begin his first assignment as a Space Force officer. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Austin T. Smith. Cadet Smith has asked Major Jessica Rawl to administer the oath of office. Cadet Smith is being pinned on this afternoon by his father Ernie, mother Jennifer, and grandfather Tom. Cadet Smith has asked his high school mentor, Master Sergeant retired Larry Nix, to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Smith. Lieutenant Smith will head the Vance Air Force Base to begin his first assignment as a pilot. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Dalton R. Gillard. Cadet Gillard has asked Major Jessica Rawl to administer the oath of office. Pinning on Cadet Gillard is his mother Amy and his father Derek. Cadet Gillard has asked his cousin, Chief Master Sergeant retired Pat Battenberg, to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Gillard. Lieutenant Gillard will head the Ramps Air Force Base to begin his first assignment as a pilot. Our next mission lieutenant is Mitchell J. Digby. Cadet Digby has asked his father, Lieutenant Colonel retired Mike Digby, to administer the oath of office.
Constitution of the United States, the Constitution, against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and all enemies, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation, or purpose of evasion, and I will well and faithfully, discharge the duties of the office, upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. So help me God.
Cadet Digby is being pinned on this afternoon by his brother Matthew and his mother Melissa. Cadet Digby has asked his sister, Staff Sergeant Mia Digby, to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Digby. Lieutenant Digby will head the Laughlin Air Force Base to begin his first assignment as a pilot. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Cameron G. Kill. Cadet Kill has asked his sponsor mother, Lieutenant Colonel retired Elaine Eldridge, to administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Cameron Kill,
Having been appointed as Second Lieutenant United States Space Force. solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or evasion. And I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
Cadet Kill is being pinned on this afternoon by his brothers Grant and John. Kale has asked Senior Master Sergeant Rewa Miller to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Kale. Lieutenant Kale will head Peterson Space Force Base to begin his first assignment as a Space Force Officer Select. Our next commissioning lieutenant is Christopher E. Downsson. Cadet Downsson has asked his brother, Army Captain Nicholas Downsson, to administer the oath of office.
I state your name. I, Christopher Downsson, having been appointed the second lieutenant of the United States Air Force, having been appointed the second lieutenant of the United States Navy, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith, and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation, or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge, the duties of the office, upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
Pinning on Cadet Downsson are his mother Lisa, father Steve, sister Alexis, and girlfriend Madeline. Cadet Downsson has asked Senior Master Sergeant Rewa Miller to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Downsson. Lieutenant Downsson will head Peterson Space Force Base to begin his first assignment as a Space Force Officer Select. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Aubrey M. Edwards. Cadet Edwards has asked Captain Anna Mason to administer the oath of office.
I state your full name, having been appointed the second lieutenant of the United States Air Force, I solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. I, Aubrey Michelle Edwards, having been appointed the second lieutenant of the United States Air Force, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Cadet Edwards is being pinned on this afternoon by her mother Leanne, father Dave, sister Kaylee, and brother David. Cadet Edwards has asked Senior Master Sergeant Rewa Miller to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Edwards. Lieutenant Edwards will have the Columbus Air Force Base begin her first assignment as a pilot. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Colby A. Bowen. Cadet Bowen has asked Lieutenant Colonel Retired Tyler Robards to administer the oath of office.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of about to enter. So help me God.
Cadet Villa is being pinned on this afternoon by his mother Emily, father Mike, and fiance Madeline. Cadet Villa has asked his grandfather and Vietnam veteran, Army Sergeant Retired Valentin Villa, to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Villa. Lieutenant Villa will head to NJEX at Shepherd Air Force Base to begin his first assignment as a pilot. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Luke C. Lepetska. Lepetska has asked his father, Navy Commander Retired Matthew Lepetska, to administer the oath of office. Cadet Lepetska is being pinned on this afternoon by his sisters, Paige and Grace. Cadet Lepetska has asked Master Sergeant Retired Shad Colson to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Lepetska. Lieutenant Lepetska will head to NJEF at Shepherd Air Force Base to begin his first assignment as a pilot. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Joshua M. Camarillo. Cadet Camarillo has asked Lieutenant Colonel Garrett Glover to administer the oath of office.
I, Joshua Emmanuel Camarillo, having been appointed Second Lieutenant of the United States Air Force, I solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office. The duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
Pinning on Cadet Camarillo this afternoon are his mother, Patricia, brother Gabriel, and sisters, Sarah and Elizabeth.
Good pace, good pace.
Cadet Camarillo has asked his father, U.S. Army Sergeant Retired Michael Camarillo, to render the first salute.
Good evening, Sergeant. Good evening, Sergeant.
Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Camarillo. Lieutenant Camarillo will head to Columbus Air Force Base to begin his first assignment as a pilot. Our next commissioned lieutenant is Andrew R. Liu. Cadet Liu has asked his sponsor father, Colonel Retired Brad Smith, to administer the oath of office.
I state your name. I, Andrew R. Liu, am appointed Second Lieutenant of the United States. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. That I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Cadet Liu is being pinned on this afternoon by his mother, Cecilia Liu, and his sponsor mother, Kate Smith.
She got hand surgery too. She's a warrior.
Cadet Liv has asked his father, Chief Master Sergeant retired Alan Liv, to render the first salute. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Liv. Lieutenant Liv will have the Travis Air Force Base begin his first assignment as a special agent for the Office of Special Investigations. Legacy class of 1975, Lieutenant Colonel retired Larry Bryan will now step forward and congratulate their legacy class.
Good afternoon. I promise I'll be brief. Stick this back. As he said, my name is Larry Bryant. I'm from the class of 75. I'm here with my classmate, John Hake, to congratulate you, but also give you a couple parting shots. Well, for the parents and everybody else, what's a legacy class? That just means that we're old enough to have graduated 50 years ago. So, do the math, 1975 to 2025. And whether you know it or not, some of you do because I've seen you at dining ins, the class of 75 has been watching you for the last 4 years and participating in different events like the March from Jacks Valley or your acceptance parade, the ring dining in, and most recently the Hundreds Night dining in. So, but tonight I've been asked to address three key things by the AOG. The first is called what they call the long blue line, and I know it sounds a bit trite, but you are now joining the 56,652 previous graduates of this institution, including 3 of my sons who are also CS-22 graduates, and they're all still in the Air Force, by the way. And so you're joining them today, and you can depend upon us to support and encourage you in the future. I hope that, like myself and my sons, you'll find that some of your best friends and closest and most reliable friends for the rest of your life and your career will be your classmates from here and your teammates from here. So enjoy them, make sure you keep track of them. The second point that I want to make is if you'll look at your rings, and I know they pointed this out at the ring dining in, what they call forged in blue, that from every previous class, some people have donated their rings to be melted down and put into ingots, which are then used to manufacture your rings. And sometime in the future, you may decide you want to do the same for the future generations. So your ring already has a heritage of its own. Wear it proudly, but in a way that will add honor and esteem to that legacy. I don't do what we used to call being a ring knocker, or let your deeds speak for themselves. Finally, you've heard the commissioning oath now at least 23 times, but I want to point out 2 key phrases. By the way, in that bag that you received, there are engraved second lieutenant bars, and you'll have to look in the back to see the engraving. And there's also a note to you from the class of 75 that I'll leave it up to you to read. Anyway, each time you pin on these second lieutenant bars, I want you to remember something about the oath of office, that you have sworn that you will support and defend, not a person, not a place, not a thing, but you will support and defend an idea, the Constitution of the United States. And that you will, that you'll bear true faith and allegiance to the same, right? And I just ask that you take that seriously, and you think about that when you put the wings on, or your butter bars on. Secondly, it goes on to say that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you're about to enter. Okay, I would challenge you not to only do those duties well, but do those to your absolute best ability. The Air Force in this country needs you to aspire to do a great job, not just a well job, okay? That you want to be the best in your unit, the best on the base, or the best in the Air Force. This country needs that. So remember that we, the older generations, will be watching and cheering you on and rooting for you. And finally, God bless you. Be safe this summer and have a wonderful career.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Bryant. Major Jessica B. Rawl will now step forward for closing remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to the families and friends joining us today. Your love, your encouragement, and your steadfast belief in these now lieutenants have brought them to this milestone. You are part of their journey. Thank you for being here. To the cadets who made today's ceremony possible, Maddie, Ella, Kat, Peyton, Morgan, and the entire support team, your hard work has made this moment memorable and meaningful. You've taken care of every detail, and it shows. And to the command team, Lieutenant Colonel Scott, Senior Master Sergeant Miller, Master Sergeant Compton, Tech Sergeant Stockwell, thank you. The heart, consistency, and mentorship you've poured into the squadron over the years, ooh, I'm emotional, has helped forge not just good cadets, but great people. Your impact is lasting and deeply appreciated, not just by me, but by the lieutenants we now send forth. Today, we speak words that carry weight: commissioned, officer, lieutenant. But let's be honest, USAFA is filled with words, and over time, when you hear them enough, their meaning can blur. They get shouted, whispered, typed into orders, and scrawled across calendars. Sometimes they carry pride, sometimes pressure. But today is a reminder, words matter. And also, words are hard right now because I'm so emotional. Especially the ones you now carry. When you first arrived, you were called basic, freshman, 4-degree, follower, trainee, and a since retired term. It starts with a D, ends with a, I can't say it, but the two together. You've since become wingman, teammate, roommate, cadre, NCO, CIC, firstie, and in that time you also became Raptors. Not just in patch or poster, but in identity. And in that time as well, you became reverent, altruistic, harmonious, woo, exuberant, renaissance, intellectual, intrepid, luminous, sensible, forthright, dauntless, exemplar, stoic, dedicated, balanced, resolute, humble, revered, indomitable, twice over, diligent, maverick, versatile. You've built something here, a family, a place that people want to come back to. That's no small thing, that's leadership, that's legacy. Now you add new words to your story: pilot, engineer, guardian, meteorologist, special agent, acquirer, and to be, I'm giving you an extra word, ambassador, because that's what you are for us. And today, you earn others still: lieutenant, officer, class of 2025, war fighter. But these aren't just labels, they're a launch point. You now get to decide what those words mean in action. You've worn the same uniform as everyone else for 4 years. Now you get to decide what it looks like when it's worn your way, with your values, your voice, and your vision. So here's what we see in you. You are incredible, capable, competent, killers who are kind. You are raptors, airmen, guardians, war fighters, lieutenants. And most importantly, you are ready. We have no doubt that you will win our nation's wars if called. But more than that, we are confident you will lead with integrity, serve with purpose, and live with meaning. As you step into this next chapter, I hope that you remain excited, undeterred, humble, eager, ever curious, always learning, always growing. Congratulations. I'm grateful for this year with you. I'm now even more honored that now I get to serve right alongside you. Thank you.
Thank you, Major Dalton. At this time, everyone please stand for the playing of the Air and Space Force songs. Thank you to our 25ers. Thank you for all for being here. We're going to miss you guys, so don't be strangers. Love you all. With that, I'd like to conclude the commissioning ceremony for Cadet Squadron 22. Congratulations to the class of 2025. 25ers, don't run off yet. We got some for it. Little toast to the 25ers. Good luck in your careers. Guys, get together so you can cheers. Congrats, guys.